ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, our dear subscribers. My name is Sekuya Hamis from Int'l Group of Companies. Today we have visited an ongoing site. I want to take you through one of our 10 capacity cow shed, but it's a complex shed in that it has more than one facility. I want to start by showing you a few of what we usually talk about. An example of a well organized and set up farm. This side I have a section for poultry, including turkeys, geese. This side we have a goat section. On the upper side we have a chicken structure that's yet to be stocked. Right here is what I want to take you through today. What you're looking at is our 10 capacity dairy cow structure, and as I said, it has more than one facility in it, in that it has a calf shed, it has an adult cow structure which has a milking parlor attached to it. It also has a waste management point. That is what makes it a complex, not just a single structure. What you're looking at right here is what shall be the cow's shed. This is a 6 capacity shed whereby, as you can see, we have 3 sections. Calves, as any young animal is, or even in humans how babies are, they tend to be playful. Each of these sections is going to be housing 2 calves in one, and the idea of not separating the 2 calves is simply because we want each of them to have enough playing space. This is where they will be sleeping, while this other side is where they will be feeding, and then within here we want them to have enough room to play around, jump around, because they're a bit jumpy. I don't want to make them dull, keeping them so squeezed without space to, move around. Where I'm standing right now is what shall be the corridor that separates the sleeping side from our feeding side. I'm stepping on here will be our waste trench. I also want you to be noticing how our materials look like, the materials we've used to set the structure up, because I always talk about the importance of the quality of material when it comes to the lifespan of the structure itself. Where I am now is what is going to become the adult cow structure, and on this structure we have 10 cubicles for the adult cows and 2 cubicles for milking. So it's going to have both the milking parlor and the cubicles themselves for where the animals shall spend their day. On this side, as it was on the other calf structure, is our sleeping side, where each of these sections is going to be subdivided further to make 2 cubicles in each section, and then there our animals shall be sleeping. While on this other side that's yet to be finished, as you can see we are still preparing concrete for the floor, is going to be the feeding structure, and then this smaller section will take our feeding. Our floor has a slight slant towards this trench, and the same is going to happen on this side. That floor will also be slanting towards this trench, and the whole purpose of this is that when our animals pee, especially when they urinate, or we have driving rain, when there's a lot of wind and then the rain is forced to pour into the shed, that water does not get stagnant on the floor, but rather it flows these trenches. That way we keep our structure dry. Look at our concrete. As you can tell, our concrete is of good mixtures and it's going to eventually produce a strong flow. If you look at our poles are thick enough, you're not going to be like there was a strong wind and the whole structure fell. And then on top of that, they are new and strong. If you look at these ones, for example, on top of them being strong, we still wrapped them in PVC. That way our poles are protected from groundwater and insects that may eat the poles. Look at our structure here, for example. Our bricks, the courses have been done in good cement mixtures, so there is no part of the structure you feel like is compromised, and that gives you the lifespan of the structure as we usually talk about. We have these trenches. This trench collects the waste from both sides and then takes it right to our collection point. There is a waste pit down these ends, which basically makes it easy for you to keep your manure if you're going to use it for biogas, if you're going to transfer it further down into our garden. Some of you may be asking, why do we have to put cubicles in our structure? Yet, ordinarily, especially for a layman, you grew up maybe with cows at home and they used to sleep under a tree. Or those that had a kraal, it was just one big kraal where all animals just used to sleep in there. This is the importance. These cubicles, they are wide enough to allow that animal turn a little bit within its cubicle, but not all around. And even when it comes to sleep, it's just enough space for it to rest, but without us being extravagant extravagant on the space and without squeezing it. So we provide these cubicles in a way that they are just enough for the animal to feel cozy, but then without us wasting space that could be used for other things. And then here comes the trick. When that animal enters its cubicle like this, to sleep, it's going to have its droppings around here. If the animal is this side eating, and then while it's feeding, its droppings around this space. And therefore, all you have to clean is this place. So even when it sits this side or this side, it's going to be sitting in a clean place. It's going to have less likelihood of having dung all over its body. Our structure is not yet at that stage, but for those that have the financial muscle to do so, you can even provide a more comfortable sleeping area by maybe putting sand on the sleeping cubicles, whereby you build a stopper here like this, and then you fill that side with sand, whereby your animals sleep in a soft and warm place. Or if it's not sand, you can use wood chippings, or you can use an old mattress or some sisal mats. Up this side, as I said, our animals need exercise too. This other space is going to be gazetted, whereby we shall have a spray crush this side. The upper side is also going to be a small walking area whereby our animals, after they fed, they can step out of the structure and have a bit of a walk under the sun, stretch their legs out, and that is good for them. So we are going to have a setup of an exercise here that is quite small, but it gives them the service. After all, there are only 10 animals. These animals, they are on zero grazing, so for those that are waiting for me to show you a paddock where they'll be grazing and things like that, that's not going to be there. But it helps you with maximization of space. As we usually talk about, if you were to compare animals that are on zero grazing to animals that are on free range, first of all, zero grazing gives you a higher productivity on animals compared to that of free range, and yet it maximizes feeds. You'll have your animals walking on over 20 acres of land and they are still tiny, while you have animals on zero grazing feeding on the same amount. This has been our structure. I look forward to showing you this structure when it gets to a better state, and we shall be coming back here to show you some of those features that I've talked about. For example, the feeding trough, the floors, how they will be designed, the spray crushes, the finished waste tank, the exercises yards, the water troughs, all those things when we have finished our construction. For those of you that want such structures to be set up at your farms, you have consultations, you want anything concerning animal structures and livestock itself, hit us up on our social media. You can come to our offices in Kasangati and we shall see that you live a satisfied farmer. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like this video, and see you again next time.